Good morning.
Good morning.
How have you arrived to this conversation on this early morning time?
Yeah.
So I think the technical difficulties were not just you yesterday. I think there were some issues with Zoom as well.
Yes. Usually in the hospital, I have a problem.
Right.
So I move in different uh places,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not good.
Right. I think it was Zoom. I think Zoom had an outage at about the same time our meeting was. It was not just us, it was a global outage with Zoom. So it wasn't
Oh,
just
okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah. So what did you want to take a look at today?
Oh, I said this morning to my reflection. I can share.
With the category C, 1A9 and 1A10?
Yes.
Okay, I did read that.
Oh,
Yes, we can take a look at that. And the other thing I had suggested the last time we talked was that we look at the outcomes and indicators as a whole.
uh-huh.
And if you want to do that, we can do that as well. I realize, you know what, it's your agenda for our this session.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I oh I I have with me um the questions. We have four questions about the my role in the chaplain.
Okay. Okay.
So okay, the first question is, who can healing rituals be incorporated into the patient family?
Who can
Who
please
can healing ritual?
who can okay.
Let me share.
Okay.
Mm, Do you see the question?
Yes, I do.
Okay. The first question is, who can healthy rituals be incorporated into the patient's family? This is one.
Okay.
The second is, who can forgiveness and reconciliation be fostered among the patient relatives? Three, this is important to provide ongoing follow-up and support to the patient and their family.
Okay.
Four is, it is advisable to refer them to therapy or church-based support groups
Okay.
because I stay with in the hospital when the patient uh is in uh short time, but uh that's it. We don't stay continued working with uh uh this fashion family.
Okay.
You understand me?
Yes. And so I think I hear you saying you feel it would be helpful because of the short amount of time you have with the patient and family to refer them to therapy or church-based support groups.
Yes. This is possible, or is it unusual, or
It certainly is possible to offer additional resources to families, to patients and their families, their loved ones. So I would encourage you to check in with your site supervisor, Father Amos,
okay?
and ask them what resources beyond the spiritual care in the hospital do they share with patients and their families. And
Oh,
they may have an already printed resource or list of resources that you can give them. I wouldn't necessarily use the language therapy, even though that may be a part of what you offer, but there may be a variety of resources.
okay.
And it's like there may be grief support groups, there may be situation-specific support groups like adults supporting children with developmental delays or families with um, mental health, particular mental health challenges like a diagnosis specific support group, etc. So yes, it's advisable to refer them to groups, and often the spiritual care department will have a document that you can share. And I would encourage you to use that document. And then sometimes people will ask for church communities. They'll say, I'm looking for a church, I don't know. And so you can ask them more about what they're looking for and direct them to a variety of resources. You wouldn't direct them, for example, to your church. You would
Mm.
give them a variety of resources. Okay. Um, and then the first one is the word is pronounced
How?
how. So how can healing rituals be incorporated into the patient's family? Say more about that. What do you mean by healing rituals?
Uh, uh, do you remember the you shared with me materials uh for funerals, for
Yes.
yeah, because this is important for me, not only for the context for the hospital, but it's only for the church too.
Yes. So when you say healing rituals, you specifically are talking about funerals?
Yeah, funeral.
Okay, so how can funerals be incorporated into the patient's family?
Mhm. Ritual is talking about to the liturgies.
Oh, okay. Okay. So liturgies for funerals in particular, or maybe other situations, how do you incorporate it into the patient's family? Do you mean how do you share that to the patient's family? How do you give that to the patient's family?
Uh, mm,
No.
for example, the hospital every 4 months preparing the memorial service, the
Yes.
special service or memorial service for
Memorial service.
yeah.
Hmm.
But in this case, when this context is Catholic,
Okay.
so the father he's preparing with the other chaplains support for preparing everything, but the special ritual is the Catholic ritual or
Oh, okay.
um liturgies for the uh service. I want to learn about to the church.
Okay. So you want to learn about some Protestant, for example, memorial services and liturgies.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. So There are a few, there are lots of online resources where you
Okay.
can go online, but within your denomination,
Um,
the United Methodist Church has a book of worship.
yeah, I think it's the worship and hymns.
Yes, that's an excellent resource. And
Okay.
when you look in that book of worship, it has multiple liturgies for a
Okay.
variety of contexts, for the death of a child, for the death of a parent. It has other rituals, weddings and other baptism
Mhm.
and other things as well. But there are multiple versions within that book. So for your church, that's one resource. But you can also search on the internet for liturgies, and you can say Protestant liturgies,
Mhm.
and then they won't be Catholic.
Okay.
That's an excellent resource.
Okay. Perfect. I
Okay.
put in my notes.
Yes. And then how can forgiveness and reconciliation be fostered among the patient's relatives? Wow, that's really good. Say more about that.
Okay. Mm, okay.
Okay.
Yes. I have other question. Um, what is your recommendation about to continue it with my unit number two?
Hmm. Um, have you had an opportunity to meet with Joseph yet?
Not yet. Yesterday I have meet with the Father Amos
Good.
about to the uh my hours in the hospital.
Okay.
So I explained to the when I finish uh my hours, I continue the stay uh in May. It's no official class, but take hours because in July we have less time for the hours. So in this time in May, the second when I finished the first unit, when I started to the second, we take more hours, but in July we I have less hours. So the recommendation for the father, he said, you need to talk with Joseph about to the this situation, particular situation,
Yes.
because I am able for help or help you to the hours.
Is Father Amos supportive of you continuing? Does he
Yes.
want you to continue? Yes.
Mhm.
So Marcelo, you have to speak to Joseph
Okay.
because you need an arrangement in advance. You just can't do the hours and expect them to count.
Okay.
So you have to communicate with Joseph. Now is the time. So you can tell him you spoke to Father Amos and let him know what you're thinking about and you want to move on it. Now is the time to do it.
Okay.
Are you, and you're coming to the meeting tomorrow? You're not
No,
able to,
because we have um the service at the same time. So I sent to the mail to the Joseph uh because it's at this time is
no, doesn't
complicated
work for
for
you.
me.
Great.
But I am very open to the big decision.
Okay. So I'm so glad you communicated with him about that. That was so important. So I'm so glad you did that. And now you just want to send him an email and start communication about the unit 2 hours and how you would like to do that. And the fact that you've already talked to Father Amos and he's supportive.
Hmm.
And and that would be your next step as relates to unit 2.
Okay.
Okay. Before you can begin unit 2, working on at that level, you know you have a couple more assignments that are critical for unit 1.
I know.
Okay. Okay. So Joseph is going to ask you, how are you progressing with your indicators and outcomes?
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I have repeatedly reminded you that you need to do, that you haven't done sufficiently. You
Okay.
haven't done enough. When you do the indicators and outcomes tracking, you're doing the same indicators and outcomes over and over again. You're
Oh,
not demonstrating additional outcome,
other. Okay.
and you really want to do that. Do you know how, um, do you know what I'm referring to when I say that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand because you send me um the 25 for email.
Yes.
I know the
Yes.
yeah, because I working in the around the 20 or 25 reflections.
Yes. Good.
So I put different indicators outcome. So
Excellent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
So
the same. Uh, I put different. I
good. That's very good. Are you aware of the tracking document in the handbook?
yes, yes. I have to in my computer. I have one copy. I printed one copy,
Oh,
so
great.
I don't have excuse. So I working in this
Okay.
process.
Very good. So that's the two things you need to do that I would recommend you do in preparation for Unit 2, to
Mhm.
have that income outcome tracking document well on its way, almost completed.
Okay,
And you have to meet with Joseph
okay,
and talk to him about what your idea is around the hours. Very good. So if any other thoughts or questions about that?
no, no,
Okay. So let's take a look at the document you sent me. It was the first one you had on the screen. So wait, before we take your questions off, is it important to provide ongoing follow-up and support to the patient and their family? So it is important, I think, to provide ongoing follow-up and support to the patient and their family for sure while they're in the hospital. So you may say, I'll come back and visit again, which you have done.
okay.
Are you thinking about ongoing support after they have discharged from the hospital?
Uh, yes, because well, so this this ethical.
Yes. So this would begin to be in that area of professional boundaries.
Oh,
So what are the professional boundaries? Where does the chaplain Marcelo show up in the hospital to support patients and families there, that is separate from the pastor Marcelo, who may have patients and families who are members of the church there?
mhm.
So this is where your professional boundaries are very important, and you want to be very clear, as you said in your reflection, about your role.
Okay,
So as a chaplain, I do not follow up with patients and family extensively after they leave the hospital.
Okay.
I may do one follow-up phone call, just checking in with them, making sure, for example, if it was the case of in the situation of the death of the patient, making sure they have access to grief resources, and then that would be it. I wouldn't, for example, invite them to come to my church so that I can continue to support them. I would consider that going over my professional boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, oh yes. Um, okay. In this situation, I need, um, I don't invite, uh, for example, at my church because it's, w- it's the long distance for my church for attending,
Mhm.
but, um, so connect with other, um, ministries for support. So I need ask to the Father Amos about to the,
That their list of resources.
yeah, the list. Yeah, this
May
is concern.
Very good. May I sort of reframe what you just said a little bit?
N-
Can
No.
I repeat back to you what you just said and add something to it? Give you some feedback?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you said, I don't invite them to my church because my church is too far away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm inviting you to consider that you don't invite them to your church because that would be a violation of your professional boundary with them
Hmm.
as a chaplain. So that might be a place to reflect. It isn't the geography, the miles, it's whether or not it's appropriate in your role as a chaplain.
Okay. Okay.
And it may not be a hard and it may not be a simple yes or no, but it's a place where you can have consultation with Father Amos, or you can have conversation, because it's not just that it's too far away. It's also, when you think about your outcomes, is that a healthy relational boundary and professional boundary to extend that kind of care? And what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So only in one case, one person has asked me about to the, uh connect with,
Yes.
uh one ministry, or but I explained to the person, uh very honest, I don't know. I don't know, in this moment for, connect with one ministry or so, but this important to me. So what ways is, connect, or what next step the person, connect, because, uh I understand that my role is, chaplain only inside to the hospital,
Yes.
but sometimes, uh, the people ask for the continue to, support the spiritual care,
Yes.
but, I need, ask to the Father Amos about to the,
Very good.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And what that is called, when you ask him about that and you have a conversation about that, that's what we call consultation.
Consultation.
Okay? And that's one of your indicators.
Yeah.
Okay? Very good. I would love to hear how that conversation goes
Yep.
and what comes from it. That would be great. If you'd be willing to share that in the next IS, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Good. And how can forgiveness and reconciliation be fostered among patients? Yeah, that's a challenging one. Um, and I've seen you do that.
Oh, this. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me. Okay. Let me share my screen.
Okay. So I'm curious in the question about forgiveness and reconciliation with patients and families.
Mhm.
Is there a particular situation where you wanted to help foster forgiveness and reconciliation? You wanted to help with forgiveness and reconciliation?
Yes, it's in two different times. I see the conflict with the two parts of the families, son and mother, uh, because I don't know what happened with the situation, the personal situation in this family.
Right.
Uh, so I stay in the middle,
Okay.
but I confused, because I don't know what happened with this family because the parent is pass away.
Yes.
So in this moment the tension is very complicated.
Yes.
So I try to the they say okay, hold down to uh we respect this situation, but this two person is uh fire uh they foul uh foul.
Yes. Wow.
So they fought. I called to the other chaplain for help me in this situation. I stay with one person and she stay with another person.
Good.
Yeah.
What you did sounds really good. And I think it would be a great opportunity for a verbatim that you could bring to the group and and ask the group to let's talk about this and learn from it together. But that was excellent. You asked for support from someone else when they fought, and you guys were able to separate them and deal with the immediate issue. And then what does the ongoing reconciliation look like? You may not have a lot of that you can do beyond their time there in the hospital, but just separating them and creating that space to for each one to talk sounds like that was probably pretty helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it starts it. And that's where you can also share those resources, which they do have at your site, that include conflict management. And that's what they're called on that list of resources from Father Amos.
Mhm.
There's one about conflict and family dynamics. And they can access those resources if they're willing to do that. So it might be what you're calling therapy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But very good that you called for help. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, in all times for me in the hospital, I asked to everything to the other chaplain. So
Good. Can you recall in group that Alice has been presenting verbatim after verbatim of family about family conflict?
yeah.
Yeah, and she shares there some of the things that she has been doing to address that family conflict. Now it's different than yours, but what they have in common is how chaplains navigate through very difficult family conflicts.
Mhm.
So I encourage you to share it in group and you can give feedback. And it doesn't have to be a verbatim, it can also be in our IPG group. You can say, hey, I want to share this situation. And would you all give me your feedback? What do you think? And what would you do? And what do you think about what I did? So that's something you can share there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, I see your screen.
Okay. So I started to read
Yes, okay.
a reflection by student Marcelo, category C, empathy indicator IA9, demonstrate
Okay.
knowledge, I culture relation boundaries.
Okay.
Uh, this week, I had the opportunity to collaborate with the hospital staff in the presentation and participation of a memorial service for families who recently lost a loved one, working alongside nurse, social worker, and fellow chaplain. I witnessed the deep commitment of the staff to support grieving families. I actively joined in that support to the spiritual care, which include helping with logistics and offering and pray during the service. This collaboration allowing me to practice empathy by intentionally listening to the family's stories and offering compassionate presence without rushing to provide answers or minimizing their pain,
Minimize their pain.
minimize their pain. One moment that stood out to me was when a mother shared a few words about her child who had passed away. As she spoke through tears, I feel my own emotion rise. Forever, I remember my role as a chaplain to the fully present while holding space for her grief, not to take and as my own. In that moment, I practice healthy relation boundary, offering support will maintain emotional grounding. This experience become a powerful moment of learning and growth in my chaplain formation. I learning to provide spiritual care in times of deep sorrow requires both compassionate and clarity of role. It reaffirmed for me this sacredness or presence and the importance of the boundaries in sustained long-term ministry. Moving forward, I will continue to develop this skill by seeking supervision, practice, reflective listening, and remain grounded in the purpose and my pastoral identity.
Excellent. What?
Yeah,
How?
excuse me. This is the first um reflection. Well, no, I have around the 5 or 6, but this is the first reflection with the I'm followed to the direction, the good direction to the categories or indicators or outcome, because the other reflection is uh, I thinking only in one situation, but I think this is the best.
I agree. Yeah, this is you're looking at different things in this one. What do you think went really well in this situation?
So I'm very sensitive. Um, for example, the one family is crying. Usually I'm crying too. So I try now to stay um and because I stay here for support to the family by my emotion
Mm-hmm.
is and sometimes I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
so but I'm trying to stay I'm okay, okay, okay. So I need support. I stay with the person. So um in the chapel, uh different families attend to this activity. But the Father Amos said stated different um uh, points because the family need support. So the Father Amos lead to the everything, but when they finish the program, the chaplain stayed very close with the different families. And in this case, uh, one group is speak only Spanish, so I stay with this family talking in Spanish
Okay.
because this family don't understand uh, the program, so I explain and translate a little so for the program. Uh, the person the, the family say, "Oh, are you father too?" I said, "No, no, no, no. I am chaplain. I am chaplain here, and I'm part to the staff."
Mm-hmm.
So
Very good.
yeah.
How did you how did you contain your emotions and stay
Oh,
present?
okay. I contain my emotion because I exhaled.
Ah. So you did some breathing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I connect to the families because I'm sad. But I maintain to my emotion and relaxing.
Yeah, it sounds like you demonstrated enough of your emotions to demonstrate your care
Mhm.
for the family.
Yeah.
That's great. What would you do differently?
This experience I would like because it's different families, different contexts, different cultures. So I see to the Asiatic people, Anglo people, Hispanic people. So it's interesting because it's a special um, memorial service for all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. That's very good. What what was the best part of this for you? What was the best part?
Mm, I I would like to uh the Father Amos pray for the families
Mm,
for the family. So I think this hospital um rem remind to this person, oh, in this place my mom passed away or my son or you know
mhm,
these people is hard to return to this place because this place is remember the my parents passed away in this place.
mhm.
So this is the emotion is complicated to the
Right.
the service don't start but the people is cry. I think remember to uh family or parents or
Yes. Yes, that's powerful. I think it's okay to cry, to have feelings with the family. And like you said, you take the deep breaths and you remember this is you're not going through this, but you're supporting them
Mhm.
as they're going through it. And I can imagine the prayer was very powerful. That's interesting because you prayed during the service, right?
No, no. When the service is done,
Mm-hmm.
the chaplains stay with
Is that
different
okay?
groups of workers.
Okay.
So the people of parents is cry, the parents.
Yeah.
So I say, okay, we pray together or say thank you God for this wonderful opportunity for our family. Eh, so we pray a little pray. Yeah.
Okay. That's very good. I know prayer is very important to you.
Yes.
I notice in pretty much all of your visits, it seems like you pray with the family or with the person
Yeah, but I learned to uh the permit he asked to the patient
to get permission.
about
Mhm.
permission. He asked what you like to pray, specific to pray.
Very good. I'm
So,
glad to hear that. That's excellent growth.
yeah, because thank you and the team because uh now I'm better in my visit.
How does that feel when you ask them what do they want to pray for?
Sometimes uh, person say no, I'm okay, okay. And sometimes the people say, oh, please pray for my son or pray for my daughter or for my family or for my pets too. So okay, so let's pray together. So the I see to the face
Yes.
to the passion
Yes.
and
And you don't have to have you're able to use a portion of your prepared prayer, but also include what they have, what
yes.
they want. That's very good. Your prayers are beautiful. The written prayers that you have shared with me are beautiful. So I'm so glad to hear you're able to use them and ask what they want to pray for and include that. Very good. In your reflection, you said, I felt my own emotions rise. I felt my own emotions rise. Can you say more about what emotions came up for you?
Uh, so um I connect in this situation I connect with my personal situation because my mom passed away when I have 14 or 15 years old.
Oh, okay.
So my mom passed away in February 14. So she had problem with the cancer,
Mm,
but she passed away with the 39 years old.
wow. Wow.
So it's uh my mom stayed in the hospital for 1 year. So every day we call my we take turns turn
Mm,
in the morning or afternoon depend to the schedule. But
yeah.
every day we stay to the hospital. So uh my father, my brothers and my sister stayed on 1 year in the hospital. Yeah, I remember this imagine in my mind.
Yes.
So yeah,
So that sounds like a very difficult experience, and you're 14 years old.
yes,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. This is a uh, trau trauma situation.
Trauma.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Do you think
So
that there was some counter transference there?
repeat again, please.
Do you think this is also an example of potential counter transference?
I think so.
Yeah. So those are the some of your own emotions. So what did you do after to take care of yourself?
Mm, so this is uh the process, the process. I I thinking uh the this I don't know that this is normal situation, but my experience is difficult because in my context, my dad is drinking a lot.
Hmm.
When my mom passed away, my father continued to drinking, so he lost to the car, he lost to the house. So my trauma is continue
Yeah.
with with my father's situation. So in sometimes no and one time my father I stay in the street
Wow.
me and my brother. My brother is 13 years old, I'm 14 years old. My dad say I live it. So
Wow.
I live in we stay in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico.
Hmm.
My grandparents live in Mexico City. So my father said I live in. So when my mom passed away, I have one brother that 1 years old. My father take my little brother. He buy to the two tickets to the airplane
Hmm.
to leave to Mexico City. But my other brother and me, I stay in the street. We don't
Wow.
have uh we homeless.
Yes.
My dad is no shared. Okay, you I pay one month for the rent in this apartment or in this room. So take money for the food for 1 month. No, no, anything, anything. I stayed in the street. So my dad take to taxi. He live. So in this moment, I cry. So what is next?
Right. Right.
So in Juarez, Mexico, this city is very dangerous.
Yes.
A lot of drugs, uh, very difficult situation. But uh, I think to the support support me in this situation and my brother too is the church,
Hmm. Hmm.
the Methodist church support for help us to the different families help us so in this situation, but it's very complicated.
Yes, it sounds very complicated. It sounds very painful and frightening.
Yeah,
And you're so young.
yeah, yeah. We stay alone, so my brother is live with one family. I'm living with other family. Uh, so we um study in I think studied to the high school
Okay, you're
and
right. 14. Yeah.
yeah, and um in working too. I work in
Yeah.
afternoon, so it's it's hard, but
It's very hard. So I understand why you call it trauma.
yeah,
Yeah. And all of that coming up for you in that moment, that's a lot. So you were breathing your way through.
yes,
Ah, that's very powerful. And so when you said I had empathy for them, you're drawing on all of that
hmm
as you're thinking about their loss and allowing your loss to help you empathize with them.
hmm yeah,
That's quite a bit, Marcelo. Yeah. And this was for over a year.
yes. We this is first 3 or 4 years is very hard for my brother and for me. But we finished to the high school
Yeah.
and I received to the call for the ministry. It's a different here to Mexico the process because in Mexico when we finish to the high school we attend to the bachelor degree
Okay.
for theology. So I talking about when my situation with my pastor.
Yes.
So I say to the pastor, I would like to serve, but I don't know what step follow. So I see to the informal school in Juarez for learning theology,
Mhm.
but the pastors say, well, let's pray first, and uh, I need to talk with the leadership, the our church, and um, I will send to the seminary, John Wesley Seminary in Mexico for 4 years for bachelor degree in theology. And I don't have money for pay my seminary, but the church, the my mother church say, okay, we pay for you for the seminary. So this is uh wonderful support
Yes.
because when I go to when I went to the seminary, I don't have money for pay to the seminary.
Right.
So the church support me to the 4 years in the seminary. Yeah,
It really reminds me of how important it is for you to connect people to the support that the church can offer,
yeah,
because you have your own experience of that.
yeah.
And it really made a difference for you.
Yeah, and for this, my personal experience, I understand to uh, passion in I connect when
Yeah,
the families about to the this particular situation.
yes.
So, but I try to say, okay, I want to support more to the this, but I understand to the my role is limits to the
Yeah,
hospital, you know?
that's right. You have boundaries.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. That's wonderful self-awareness. That's wonderful awareness of your role, as you said in here, your pastoral identity and
Mhm.
how you use that to help you figure out how to support this family.
Yeah.
That's really excellent work. Yeah, and in the moment, your recognition that in the moment I practice healthy boundaries, and I can appreciate in your sharing all that you was coming up for you. It was a lot. And you were practicing healthy boundaries and offering support while maintaining your own emotional grounding. No small thing. That's a
Yeah.
pretty big thing. Well
Yeah.
done. Very well done, Marcelo. Very well
Oh,
done.
thank you, thank you. So my brother is pastor too in Albuquerque, no Mexico.
Okay.
But but he don't have he don't have paper.
Oh, he doesn't have papers.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So he
So
can for process.
he he is lay leader pastor. He don't attend to the seminar,
Okay.
but he is, started to the informal um, service, but the church is growing. But he went to the one um space for the church, but he received to the immigrants in the church.
He received what from the church?
The migrants,
Immigrants.
immigrants.
Church. Ah, okay.
Yeah, but I explained him, you be careful because it's complicated. It's complicated
Yes.
because
Very complicated.
um he preparing the church preparing food, space, but but this this is the church, but this informal church, you know.
Yes.
So because he opened to the sanctuary for put bed in the night for
Yeah.
the immigrant.
Yes. Wow.
So yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he does have to be careful. Very good.
yeah.
Marcelo, you have done very well in this reflection. Thank you so much for sharing this with me.
No, thank you too.
And I can see how you have accomplished these indicators
Mhm.
and even more, how you managed your countertransference in that moment. So you can even add that indicator to this reflection. Very
Yes,
well done.
thank you so much. I'm preparing in this next week for send more
Okay,
because I have in my notes with the my homework, so I preparing to.
excellent. Well done. We're
Oh,
at the end of our time, and so we're going to end here. Very well done, Marcelo. I experience your growth, your reflection, your self-awareness. Um, Very, very good job.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Have an awesome day, and I will see you not Friday, but after our spring break.
Okay, perfect,
You need anything, feel free to email me. Okay.
perfect.
All
Thank you
right.
so